Have you ever poured out your heart to God, begging, pleading, only to hear silence? You fasted. You wept. You prayed in faith, and yet God didn't say yes. If that's ever been your story, then you're not alone. Even the Apostle Paul, the mighty man of faith, who healed the sick, preached to nations, and wrote much of the New Testament, experienced a moment when God didn't say yes. This is the story of Paul's thorn. Paul wasn't an ordinary believer. He had been caught up to the third heaven. He saw visions no man had ever seen. He wrote letters that still shape the church today. But Paul had a problem, a private pain. In 2 Corinthians 12-7, Paul reveals something deeply personal. He says, "Therefore, in order to keep me from becoming conceited, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger of Satan, to torment me." We don't know exactly what this thorn was. Some say it was a physical illness, maybe his eyesight. Others believe it was spiritual warfare, depression, or constant persecution. But whatever it was, it hurt, and Paul, the great apostle of faith, prayed. The Bible tells us Paul didn't just ask God once. He didn't pray casually, he pleaded 3 times. Earnestly, desperately, he wanted relief. He wanted healing. He wanted peace, and surely, if anyone deserved a yes from God, it was Paul. Right? But God didn't say yes. Instead, God answered Paul in a way that would change everything. In 2 Corinthians 12-9, God says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." In other words, "No, Paul, I won't take it away, but I will give you my grace, and in your weakness I will show my strength." God's no wasn't rejection. It was redirection toward a deeper strength, a greater purpose, and a humbler heart. Sometimes God's greatest mercy is unanswered prayer. We ask for healing, but He gives us endurance. We ask for breakthrough, but He gives us character. We ask for comfort, but He gives us a cross. And in those moments, when it feels like God is distant, He's actually drawing closer, because grace doesn't always look like a miracle. Sometimes grace looks like the strength to keep going when you feel broken. Paul's thorn teaches us some powerful truths. 1. Not every pain is punishment. Paul's suffering wasn't because he sinned. It was to keep him humble, grounded, and dependent on God. 2. You can be deeply spiritual and still struggle. Paul had heavenly visions and earthly affliction. Don't let anyone tell you that faith means never feeling pain. 3. God's no often hides a greater yes. Paul didn't get the healing he asked for, but he got a deeper revelation of God's grace that would bless millions. So now I ask you, what is your thorn? Is it unanswered prayer for a loved one? A struggle that won't go away? A dream that feels delayed or even denied? Have you ever cried out to God, "Lord, please just say yes"? And He didn't? Friend, you're not alone. God isn't ignoring you. He's not punishing you. He's building something in you, something eternal, because while God may not remove the thorn, He always supplies the grace. After God told Paul no, Paul didn't walk away bitter. He didn't lose faith. Instead, in 2 Corinthians 12:10, he wrote, "That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong." Imagine that. Paul began to delight in his struggles not because they felt good, but because he knew God was using them for glory. Can you trust God even when He doesn't say yes? And if you ever wonder whether God understands your pain, look to Jesus. In the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus prayed, "Father, if it be possible, take this cup from me." Matthew 26-39. He asked to avoid the cross, and yet heaven was silent. God didn't say yes, Jesus was crucified, but through that, no, the greatest yes in history was born. Yes to salvation. Yes to forgiveness. Yes to eternal life. So, friend, maybe God didn't say yes to your prayer. Maybe you feel forgotten, overlooked, denied, but you are not alone. You're not abandoned. The God who said no to Paul, the Father who stayed silent as his Son hung on a cross, is the same God who promises, "My grace is sufficient for you to hold on." Even when he doesn't say yes, he is still good. He is still near. He is still working, and in your weakness, he will be strong. If this message spoke to your heart today, leave a comment below. Even if God doesn't say yes, I still trust him, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who feels unheard by heaven right now, because they need to know. God's silence is not his absence, and his no is never without love.